All right, let's go to running back. Two players. There's a lot of talented backs in the country. I think there are a lot of talented backs. Bijan Robinson, you knew he was going to make this list, from Texas with Sark. It's going to be exciting. And then I think there's some debate over the second running back in TreVeyon Henderson out of Ohio State. I was a big Zach Charbonnet fan as well, but I think we can celebrate these guys tonight and anoint Henderson and Robinson as the two All-Americans in this list. Hack, we'll start with you on the running backs. What do you think?
Yeah, I think TreVeyon's and Bijan are both great picks. Obviously I tune into the Big Ten a lot, and being able to see TreVeyon come in as a young kid last year, a freshman, and do what he did in that league, which is traditionally a hard-nosed, down the hill, physical, inside the box type league, was great. And I look for him to continue to take steps. And again, another situation where you're stepping in and there's some other players from his team that are going to be on this list that definitely make his job easier. So I think that's obviously a great choice. And then Bijan, really explosive. And I think he's got a really unique opportunity down there at Texas. They got some good momentum going this offseason. I know there's some doubters on the quarterback down there, but I think he's going to help out and alleviate some of that pressure from last year even, and it could be even more explosive. So both of these guys, great talents. When you talk about their individual game, translates to any level. So I think that they're going to be fun to watch, and I think another guy that I wanted to mention too, I'm excited for is Mo Ibrahim from Minnesota, coming off a knee injury. I think he's an interesting one to watch too. They could be a contender in the West, and obviously all those things coming into it, but wanted to give him a shout out and give him some roses, because he definitely deserves it. So looking forward to it though.
I love what you said about TreVeyon Henderson. He is your stable, right? And I'll say what impresses me the most about him, especially this past year, is he made a name for himself when he had a quarterback that was all over every single list, every single TV show, right? He also had a receiving room that we may never see again, right? Maybe one of the greatest groups of receivers in college football history, and he still made a name for himself week in and week out. We still got some great receivers down there. Hack, you mentioned they're going to be on this list, as well as some other players, but he's going to be looked upon this year as a leader of not only that team, but of a running back position in the country. And then Bijan, I think you were giving me a little side tweet there, Hack. I don't know why. I mean, I could go into a dissertation about it, but I don't believe that Quinn Ewers is the answer for Texas football. I didn't think he was the answer for Ohio State football. I went and watched him live, and that's all I have to base it off of. Yeah, I know he's one of the highest recruited players of all time. I know that he has a great arm. I know that he has the ability to be good, but I didn't like his demeanor, and I didn't like the way he led his teammates and the way he handled his recruiting process coming out of high school. So I'll let that go. But Bijan Robinson last year, with a suspect quarterback, a suspect offensive line outside of one or two guys, still put himself on the map as an incredibly explosive football player that deserves to be the top of anybody's list. If they can put a couple pieces together and create a few holes for him this year, I think he's going to have an enormous season on the ground. The biggest piece of that is going to be Quinn Ewers, who has been named the starter, being able to go to the air and provide some sort of relief to opposition stacking the box and trying to make that team one-dimensional.
I like the storylines, fellas. I think it's interesting, and Hack, you referenced the Big Ten. And if you look at Henderson at Ohio State, his play caller is Ryan Day. I referenced Zach Charbonnet, who came from Michigan after having an All-American season there. He comes to UCLA, and his play caller is Chip Kelly. Ryan Day learned from Chip Kelly, right? Those guys go way back, like to the beginning of their coaching careers together. So I'm excited for, like, call it like the Big Ten pipeline to a degree of running backs, to see how this thing shakes out. Because the one thing that both of you said is that the balanced teams are going to have the running back that ends up as an All-American, right? The teams that aren't able to move the ball through the air, whether that's Quinn Ewers, or we know that's going to happen at Ohio State. You referenced Ohio State and that receiving core.